Here's the great, let's make observation here. Number one is that that part of the workshop is the best part of the workshop. Let me tell you why. I'm walking around, we're doing this like a laboratory deal. This is not, we're not really in a restaurant, we're not really with Timothy. We just sat there and studied it for the first time. Didn't have a whole week, you had 10 minutes, okay?
Yeah.
But then, once it started going, you guys were rocking and rolling. You were laughing, you were talking, you were answering questions, you were moving. I mean, so try to get your brain and your heart around that. You're sitting there with a gal or a girl, a guy or a girl that this is their first time, and I mean, this is like brand new stuff. You've been praying all week, looking forward to that morning or that afternoon in that restaurant or that coffee shop or at their house, at the kitchen table, wherever you do it. And God's been preparing them and been preparing you. And the time will just evaporate. I'm just telling you. You will leave. It'll be as good a visit as you've ever had with your grandchildren or your children, because this person is now growing to be your spiritual daughter or your spiritual son as you're pouring your life into them. Okay, they're anticipating something to happen. They almost are a little nervous and excited because they don't know what to anticipate. You are, because you've never been a spiritual parent before. It's like you are nervous about having the first kid. You know, wow, we'll do that little thing, you know. This is eternal. And so just think about that, okay? And so what I want, when it says feedback right now, with that little bit of preparation, in a lab kind of setting, how'd you do? Did you get through? You didn't have to get through. I wasn't worried about you getting through it. What I was worried about, did you get it? Could you see if I just read this and do what it says, it tells me what to do. And the more I do it, it's like anything. The first time you're running the bike, Dad, don't let go, Dad, don't let go, because you're afraid you're going to pop, you know? But he keeps holding and pretty soon it doesn't wobble as much, and pretty soon you're riding, and you've been riding ever since. Well, the same will be true here, okay? See, I just got a taste just now, all right? The only way you learn anything is you get in there and you do it. So that's why we do this. We say, boom, just jump in there and do it. You did, all right? I think y'all's biggest decision, are we going to do it in English or Thai, right? What did y'all decide? And your biggest desire is to be glad when we get it, all the material in Thai, right? Yeah. And we will be getting it in Thai. Like I said, at some point you'll be getting it in Thai. So question or comment now?
Sometimes you can be Paul and Timothy in one person. For people who doesn't know God at all, you have to be Paul and Timothy. You know this, and you have the answer. Almost like you tell them, you know what God saved you, and they don't know what to ask us. We have to ask them and give the answer.
That's why, yeah. Again, that's why the books are so valuable, because the questions are there for you.
Yeah.
And then Young made an observation a while ago that was true. This is your beginning, and what you're going to find out is that this is to guide you. And the more you pray over it and talk over it and write yourself notes, it won't seem so rigid. It won't seem like boom, boom, boom. The reason it seems that way is because that's all you got right now.
Yeah.
You haven't prepared a week. You haven't been praying over it. What you did was just used it as it's laid out. When you start relaxing with it and letting the Spirit lead, and God will bring verses and conversation and examples. It all, again, Billy uses the right word. It's a track to run on. It's not a rut to get into. It's a track to run on so that I have a ardor that's been field tested spiritually, that I trust the doctrine and the theology of it. It's biblical. It's not somebody's idea or opinion. And once you start working through this, and now I think hopefully you see the benefit of the 8-session guide. So I have time to practice apart from a crowd. Just the two of us get to get over here, and we're just going to take turns, and we're going to practice, and it'll start coming. It will, just like riding a bike or swimming or anything else. Just got to jump into it. Yes, sir.
Can you explain to us one more time about the shaded area?
Okay. Shaded area simply means when I'm at home by myself, it's Monday and I'm going to see my Timothy on Sunday afternoon. While I'm preparing during the week, I'm going to read the shaded area for me that will give me insight from the authors of the best way to prepare. It's just going to give you some instruction from Billy Haynes, or whoever was working on that particular part of it, because there's several authors involved in this. The shaded area is for you by yourself. And then when you get together, you still may look at it about get acquainted, oh yeah, I'm going to get acquainted and so forth, but you're not waiting and you're not reading that while I'm with my Timothy. I'm reading it before I get to Timothy. The unshaded area is
Unshaded in the block. In the box.
In the box. In the box. Yeah, we're talking. Yes, thank you. In the box. The unshaded area in the box is I am saying this to Timothy. It's time to move on to the study. Let's look at this now. And it's just giving you a little script to say you've already done the gray stuff, the shaded. Now it's time to move on. And it's your script there. So if there's a box and it doesn't have any shaded area, it might mean there was a verse, and then in that unshaded box, it asks a question. That means I'm supposed to ask, they're going to read that verse, I'm going to ask them a question about that verse, and let them respond. And then again, I have all week to write what I'm going to share or what I'm going to say on that. And so the box you have, Timothy doesn't have any boxes. Yes, only you have the boxes. Okay? And so did that answer your question? Okay. Any other questions? Yes, ma'am.
My question is, the part in italics, is that because it's a Bible verse?
Mm-hmm.
It's not because that's what
No.
a certain person reads?
No. And
Okay.
good question. Good question. A while ago, Betsy asked me a good question there too. She said, well, how do you tell who reads what? You decide. There is no order. There is no set, I'm going to show you what I do. I'm a simpleton. I'm an old coach, right? I'm not smart, never claimed to be. When I first started doing this, I would just CR, that's me. Timothy, his name may be Bobby, but he's Timothy. I'm going to read this, and Tim's going to read that, and CR, and I just put it in the margin. I choose ahead of time, so I'm not sitting there wondering, I'm going to read this, I'm going to ask
So
them
when
to
you
read
say
it.
prepare, you mean?
I'm prepared.
Yeah.
Okay. That's it. Right there. CR, Tim. And Tim is my Timothy. Their name is Tim. And so, I mean, that's CR, that's me, yes. CR. Oh, yeah. And so, that's why when you have time to do all this, you're ready, you pray up, and you take off. And that, again, I can't tell you the importance of the 8-session guide. When you're by yourself, just the two of you, and you're at home, and in the living room, wherever you meet, and you're just practicing with that 8-session guide, then you're going to get familiar with it. It'll come naturally. Okay? Does that help you? Okay. Anybody else? Question? Yes, ma'am.
When Timothy turned to be a Paul, and what determines that?
Thank you. Not only can Timothy become a Paul, that's the goal. The whole goal is that we're training and equipping people to be disciple makers. Okay? And who determines that? As Sir Paul, again, I may have one person who, they just boom, 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 and in 20 weeks we're finished. I may have another person that's 40 weeks before we're finished. But at the point that they have completed everything, okay? And there's no heresy, there's no, them saying, I denounce God and the church. Okay, they will not become a Paul, okay? But if this person is growing and growing, and when they're complete, when they're finished with this, they're able to at least take somebody through this, okay? They may not be ready to teach anybody Greek or Hebrew or something like that, but they're ready to take another person, who's a Timothy, to this material. And so it's when they're finished, we give them a disciple pack, a graduate pack, I'll show you that in a minute, and that's all the leadership stuff. And we say, it's your turn. It's your turn. It's your turn, Roger. But But when it's time is when they're finished. And then, when they're finished, we don't just say, here's Timothy. What we do is we teach them how to use the leadership material, because they don't know how to use this. They don't know you had a book. They see your book, but they don't know there's a box with shaded area and unshaded area. And then you're going to show them, this is what you get now. Oh, I thought you were smart. You had all that. Yeah. But you'll have fun with that. And then you'll show them how to use the box, just like you did. And you can practice with them a little bit. And then you say, because they're not going to get Timothy immediately, most likely. It will be a while before they get one, but you're going to help them become familiar with the leadership material. But they're ahead of you than when you started, because they've been through all the material. Now all they need to know is how to use the leadership material. Okay? Yes, sir.
I think I'm so blessed to have my partner who is really stranger to me today. I feel that he is like my Timothy, even though he has two names, Roger and Richard. They have met, I don't know him.
Yeah.
And when you stop us, I feel bad because it just right into that I dig something out of here. It looks so real to me, you know. That's a real Timothy to me.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And this is again, that when Pastor just said, echoed, not only at this time, the 8th session guide that I told you about. We have two ladies. One's named Trisha, the other's name is Angel. They have known each other since their children were little bitty. They used to go to camp together, they were soccer moms together, they vacationed together. Their children are now in college and getting married. That's how long they've known each other. His families are close. They became 8 partners in 8 session guide to practice. Okay? We're just going to practice 8. We're just going to practice. All right. They went to Subway. Y'all have Subway?
Yeah.
Okay, very good. They went to Subway in the town next to us, so they wouldn't know as many people, so they could be uninterrupted, you know. And they went for 12 weeks to do the 8 session guide. That's how it took them. And they met every week at Subway. On the second or third, on the second time that they went in the Subway, the ladies working in the counter and making the sandwiches started teasing them. Not being mean, just saying, oh, here come the church ladies. Because they're coming in with 6 books and a Bible. They're all coming in like this, put their stuff down, make their heart. Here come the church ladies. Hey, they just good natured. On the 3rd week, they go sit down, they pay for their sandwiches, they're eating their sandwiches, getting into their study. They look at the receipt, and it says, please pray for my mother. She's terminally ill. It's got in one hospital. Oh, they looked at her. So when they blessed the food, they prayed for her mother. Okay? And the lady said, thank you. So the next week they come back, week 4, and they go through. The first thing they say before they order the sandwiches, how's your mama? She's doing better. Thank you. That week they sit down. On the receipt, another lady, please pray for my son. He's becoming very rebellious. Both of them have raised teenage sons. They look at her and go, you got it. We know how to pray for that one. Okay? They pray for the son. The next week they come in, how's mama? How's your son? This goes on 12 weeks. Okay? On the last week, they get ready to leave. And the lady says, see you next week. And they said, no, we're finished. We've completed our study. And those gals just about crying. The one lady said, I never go to church. This is the closest to church I feel when you were there studying the Bible and praying. And you prayed for our families, and just tears running down the cheek. And then that lady said, I've always wished that somebody would teach me the Bible. Do you think Angel and Trisha let her stand there? They climbed over the counter, Not only did Angel took her under wing, led her to the Lord, did the called Joy, called Rose with her, brought her to church. It was amazing. It was just an amazing story. But that was amazing, isn't it? Yes. Yeah. Then, but this is what happens. When I asked those two ladies to share testimony at our workshop, which testimonies will start happening, and y'all will just let God bring those and share it with the others, I thought that's the story they were going to tell. It was a powerful story. They told that story, but you know what the most powerful story was? They both stood there and just cried. But they said, we have been good friends all these years and going to church together, and we didn't even know each other. Until these last 12 weeks, do we know each other's heart? We know what it is to cry with each other, to laugh with each other. And these guys have celebrated everything you can think of, graduations, weddings, sports. God, what God did in that 12 weeks with two people who did know each other. See? And them pastors just said that. And he's meaning that. I mean, and y'all know him better than me, but I know he's genuine, that's sincere. I just got a glimpse into a brother's heart. You know, a young man that could be my kid. Roger Robert. How about Reggie? No, let's call him Reggie. Okay. But again, you hear what we're saying? Y'all get a glimpse today of a lab setting. This, God can take this, and He's been wanting this to happen all along. But the problem is that we've allowed ourselves to stay almost at a superficial level, where we have just sort of gotten to know each other. Almost afraid to get to know each other. Because that means we got to be honest. It means we got to be transparent. It means they got to be available at 2 a.m. needed. But once we're willing to do that, and we should truly start raising up spiritual children, that's the kind of children they're going to raise up too. Because they're not going to know any different. You know, the guy, my spiritual dad, when he was killed, I lost my dad. He had already infused in me something that I had no idea where it would take me. It brought me to LA. Because I would not be standing here today if a home builder hadn't invested his life in me and infused in me a spiritual DNA that I have not known anything other than that all these decades. And I can't think of a week that's gone by that I haven't been with a young businessman, young college student, or young soldier. It's just part of my life. Even before I had this, now I have this. And whoa, this gives a track to run on that will help me know that it won't become diluted 3 or 4 generations from now. It will stay strong because it will be consistent. Because if I pass something on to you, you're just going to remember some of it. If I just give it to you verbally, and then you'll remember part of it you pass on pretty soon, 4 generations out, and tell me what it looks like. But we want it to be consistent. We want it to be eternal. Thank you for sharing that, because that's the essence of everything we're talking about. What can happen when 2 men, 2 women get together with God's appointment to do His work for the purpose of multiplication? Amen?
Amen.
Okay. Yeah, yes, sir.
Could you learn how to use this extension guide a little bit, because we have no chance to practice in this room today. So this one.
Okay. Include what?
After this, how to use this one, because you shared to them already. But you have to tell them how to practice this one. Practice how to.
Yeah, I thought I did that. You
I think we
Yeah.
Yes,
It's okay, right? No problem, right?
yeah, you read it and you do it.
Yeah.
Read it and do it. Okay? And if you have a question about it, you call me or Young and we'll talk to you about it. This right here is just getting together. I'll be Paul, you'll be Timothy. Next week, you be Paul, I'll be Timothy. We're going to do that until we're finished, 10 or 12 weeks, however long it takes. And when I say, why does it take 10 or 12 weeks? Because it might be that we get halfway through it, that session, and while we're there is when we start sharing about something that we really need to share. We don't finish, so next week we're going to finish where we left off. So there are just times that has to happen, okay? All right. So the 8-session guide, again, very important tool, very, very important tool. All right, now, we're going to really look. You guys have asked so many good questions. We had such good discussion, and we are running behind. Okay, we're going to keep plugging, and if anybody's got to go, and I just talked to some Zach, if he wants to just keep going. So we need to get it done.
We are in kingdom time.
We're on kingdom time, yes, yes. But it's again, what we've got to do now is we've got to walk through the call to growth. This is going to be very quick. And then we're going to watch a short DVD by Dr. Hanks, only 20 minutes long. It gives the final picture of what multiplication can look like if we really get our hands around this, okay? And then a short commitment time and program. So, all right. So what we want to do now is to look at a call to growth. It's the light green and the dark green book. The Cyber Guide is light green, Timothy Guide is dark green. The one thing I want you to notice is, real quickly, looky here. With the call to joy, the discipler has the thick book. With the call to growth, the Timothy has the thick book. On the call to joy, he had the thick book, now he's got what? The skinny book. What's that mean? It means that we have now transferred more responsibility to our Timothy. He's no longer a baby, he's a toddler, he's a child, and we're giving him more to do. We still have responsibility, but we're transferring responsibility to them. Okay, that's the reason for that too. That's another part that's beautiful about the study, is that we're being healthy with that. Okay. Now there are 5 sections, and again, you can just look at the screen. You don't even have to turn the pages. I'm just going to walk through this. Okay. There are weekly assignments. It's going to outline for you exactly what you need to do. Each week, you're going to continue to have quiet times, take sermon notes, memorize a verse of scripture per week. Now they'll start to complete one of the fill in the blank Bible studies. Okay, we won't do it with them. They'll do it on their own, but we'll discuss it with them the next week. And they'll read an inspirational chapter and mark the highlights. So some of the things are similar, but the topics are different. We're taking them a little deeper now.